One, two, 1, 2, 3.
Billy D here with another exciting pre-Cal Jam podcast ramping up for the Rebel Yell Tour coming up in 2019, February 22nd to 24th, sponsored by our great friends over at Vox Life. I have a new friend, fairly new, Alan Boyer from Ona Healthcare.
That's right.
Okay, I think Erin Smith was the one that kind of introduced us.
Erin's amazing, yeah.
She's a good connector. That's what I think she does the best. She's such a people person too.
Yeah.
Plus, she's really nice to look at too, which never hurts, right? You know.
Oh, she's tremendous.
Yeah, she's
one of our
she's got
favorite people.
She's one of my favorite people. We had dinner last week, which is great. I love her to death. All right, so I was really kind of like, I'm going to be up front. I was a little apprehensive at first because it sounded too good to be true.
And usually it probably is.
Yeah, and it usually probably is. And I've had health insurance for probably 35 years. And I mean, I've never used it. And that's the way I want it to be. And that's why I like big deductibles. Because I don't want to be, I don't go to doctors because I'm obviously take care of myself. But the thing I like about your plan is that you bring in all the alternatives. You love chiropractic. You told me you love CBD. We're going to talk about that a little bit because I'm really interested in that. Acupuncture, and to me, I don't know if this is what you think, but maybe as last resort, then we go to the medical route if we need to. But, right. And we were talking about the problem with, socialized, more social, like when you're from England.
Yes.
Okay. And is that what you call it, socialized medicine?
Yeah, we call it socialized.
Yeah. Okay. You said there's a lot of waste there because it's so accessible for people and there's nothing out of pocket. And then I want to touch a little bit on, obviously when you run an insurance, it's an insurance company. Is that what you call it?
Yeah, we call it healthcare coverage because we do so many things that are very different, but same sort of thing. Yeah.
Right. But let's talk about, when we get into this discussion about, I don't know if screenings is the right word, but your applicants, you can't take everybody. Is that
correct? Correct.
Because if you've got high risk people that have never really taken self responsibility, why should you carry the weight on that? And obviously you need to generate a profit to be, for this to be sustainable, right?
Right.
So you can't have high risk people. So that's going to push people more towards prevention. So that's what your whole program is about. So I think you were at Cal Jam last year. Were you at Cal Jam the year before that?
No, I wasn't.
Okay. So, and we would like to get you more involved with Cal Jam.
We
I
intend to be.
think we're two peas in a pod here because you can see where our what we're pushing for. But how did you, and when did this first come to fruition, and when did this whole company start?
Well, it's difficult to answer the question definitively because a few people had this idea of doing something that was different. They were disgruntled with the current system of basically a closed shop. All you can have is what they're prepared to give, and more people were wanting to have a broader perspective on how they're treated, and the insurance companies wouldn't provide it. So, as you mentioned, I come from England, and I moved here in 1998, worked in a corporate industry as a senior executive, and I was taken aback when people were leaving one company to come to another, but their career progression was almost determined by the quality of the health insurance.
Wow. And
I'd never experienced that coming from England because you have it. You have the health insurance.
And it's all the same, pretty much across the board.
It is. In England you can still buy private health insurance.
Premium.
But you might still go to the same doctors. You might just get treated a little faster.
Right.
But I was just taken aback. And then the next thing that really surprised me and shocked me, Billy, was people were declaring bankrupt because they couldn't pay their co-pays. They had health insurance, but they had to contribute 20% to the big bills after they paid their deductible, and it was financially crippling to them. I just didn't feel that was right, that somebody that was recovering from a serious illness had to then find maybe 20,000, 40,000, whatever, because who has that they can just throw at something?
Right.
And then they get all the pressures of being hounded for that money whilst they're supposed to be in a period of recovery and healing.
Right.
And this is crazy, But I will tell you, I didn't do anything about it. I just felt it was crazy. And then I got into health and wellness after I came out of the corporate test and measurement, acoustics and vibration world.
Well, tell me a little bit about that. That sounds interesting.
Well, I found myself in that through music.
Right.
I'm a
well, I was going to
musician.
say, of course.
And
what do you play?
I was a trumpet player and a conductor. I conducted orchestras and large ensembles, and that was my life. I loved doing that.
Cal Jam's kind of a little bit down your road. Maybe we're a little bit more wild than orchestras.
You guys are wild. No, but it's I love it. I love it. I grew up playing the trumpet and toured Europe playing all these virtuoso solos when I was a teenager. So I missed all the 70s and 80s music. So a lot of that's now new to me.
Really?
So, even AC/DC when I heard you guys playing Thunderstruck.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard it before a lot, obviously, but I just ran in and said, "God, it's tremendous." So that sort of stuff's new to me. Mine was Beethoven, Mozart, Shostakovich.
And I love all
those
that
guys,
too. But the thing is, I can never play that. I mean, it's not in my wheelhouse, Plus, I listen to classical probably more than I listen to anything else.
Yeah.
To be honest. And I listen to it in my car and at the house and when I read. But I just love rock and roll.
Of course, yeah.
There's just so much energy behind it.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to do with Cal Jam is just lift the energy.
I think it has.
So I never knew that about you. So when you started talking about acoustics and vibrations, that's the first thing I think about. That's what music is. It's like you paint with vibration, is what you do,
right?
And harmonics. And
right.
It's just, it's such a. To me, it's got music has so many different layers to it, and personalities, and different vibrations, and that's what's. And music is healing.
Well, it can lift you up, it can calm you down,
Right.
it really can heal
Right,
you. You look at a concept called sonic bloom that somebody discovered that if they played music at plants and then fed them with the nutrition, the crop yield would be greater.
Wow.
And they then did more research.
They weren't playing AC/DC for them. They were
Probably not.
Probably
but,
classical,
but
right?
Well, it was, and it was more Baroque, the Baroque period, Bach and Handel and Vivaldi. But then they found that it wasn't really the music; it was some of the frequencies and the rhythm, the absoluteness of it. And so they started pulling out discrete frequencies and pumping that at them at certain amplitudes, certain noise levels, and it increased the yield of the crop. So if you think about that from a plant perspective, that's making a plant grow healthily.
Right.
Well, what if we do that with ourselves? So acoustic healing is very, very powerful as well, and music is light.
Right.
And so, if you look at energy healing, which Honor Healthcare also covers, by the way, we love this. Energy healing it can be radiosthetic colors. It can be ultraviolet. It can be green. It can be black. It can be white. And not the black and white are colors, but the spectrums that reside within them. You pull those frequencies out and play them to people, whether they're too high a frequency to hear or too low a frequency, infrared or whatever, then people are seen to be healing. It's like with the water, you send good thoughts to water and then freeze it and look at the crystals.
Right.
You have very healthy and brilliant, beautiful looking crystals. Right. And then you say death or hate and let them see it. There's a great test.
Who was the researcher?
I know. I wish you were. Yes.
Yeah.
I can never remember his name, and it's terrible. It's terrible.
No, it's not terrible. It's just you can't. There's only so much we can keep in our brain.
That's right.
That's what I tell people. As we get older, it's like a lot of those slots are already filled.
Oh, mine was filled years ago.
Yeah, mine. You did. And then you didn't go through the 70s like I did, but I'm sure that had a little.
I went through my own little path in the 70s.
Did you? Okay,
a little way.
So you started this. When did you first start ONA? You're the one that started it.
No, I'm one of the people that started it. I'm a co-founder of ONA Healthcare.
Okay.
There were some previous attempts at trying to put it together and make it work, but it was just an idea, and it requires certain talents coming together to make a disruptive idea a reality.
Sure.
And so, we pulled different talent levels in at certain times. I mean, we didn't take any investment funding. It's all been done on blood, sweat, toil, and tears, to quote Sir Winston. And a lot of hard work. But I didn't want us to bring investors in, especially in the early days, because this has not been done before, Billy.
Right.
We couldn't take another insurance company's plan,
right.
Copy it, do a find and replace, and call it good. This is completely different. There is nothing like it. There are some insurance companies will do some coverage for more natural healing, but it's still very limited,
right.
And there's still nothing like it. We lead with prevention, we lead with wellness, we lead with natural health, and we have the other stuff there, which we celebrate the greatness of scientific discoveries in the pharmaceutical industry, but we also recognize that they're not for everybody, and they have a time and a place in somebody's journey.
Of course.
So we'll never trash that,
right.
But they're just too easily dispensed,
right.
Too easily taken, too accessible, and people are not looking at other forms of self-healing,
right.
And coaching and aligning with a wellness expert that looks at prevention and healing and root cause analysis, functional healing.
Right.
So that, cause and effect. Let's not put a little band-aid over it, because tomorrow the band-aid's going to be bigger and bigger and bigger, because it's going to get worse.
Because you've never looked at the tiger in the eye and really addressed the problem. And I think that's the problem with the whole pharmaceutical industry and that practice is, and it's great. Like when I broke my ribs, dude, give me some Oxycontin. It worked. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now. I tried to be the martyr for 3 days and go without drugs, but I mean, I couldn't get off the couch.
Right.
So in an emergency crisis, drugs are great.
Absolutely.
But once you get over the hump, you don't want to stay on the Oxycontin, and you don't want to stay on the high blood pressure medication. You don't want to do whatever the pharmaceutical is for the rest of your life. You want to figure out and address the cause of the problem.
Right.
And I say this all the time. I mean, we live in an infinite universe. We perceive about 6% of what's going on in the quantum world. I mean, there's more than one way to heal a body than just drugging people and cutting organs out. And again, that stuff probably has some should be utilized in certain cases, but not anywhere near the amount that. I mean, I've heard estimates of anywhere 90 to 95% of surgeries are totally unnecessary. And again, if people utilize other alternatives, which we're pushing, i.e. chiropractic is going to be the primary one, which I think, like you said earlier, they should be the family practitioner.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because we look at the whole picture, and we're not just having people come in and slinging some prescription at them, which is never really addressing the true cause of the problem. So, now, I want to talk about the fact that chiropractors, and especially through CalJam, I mean, you got to look at chiropractors as one of your prime customers or candidates for your program, because we get it. We see that the system is way broken. I mean, there's no way it's even sustainable. I mean, I'm thinking about this. I'm doing a workshop next week on Alzheimer's, which will probably be later down the road, obviously, by the time this gets out. But you look at things like Alzheimer's, that's going to bankrupt not only insurance companies, but probably the economy within the United States. When we've got 1 in 2 people that are going to be having diagnosis of Alzheimer's, we got 1 in 2 kids that are going to be diagnosed with autism. Where do you see yourself in that whole turmoil of just carnage which is going on in healthcare? I mean, you look at the cancer epidemics, and then you look at heart disease and diabetes. I mean, I think it has to come back to people taking some self-responsibility and looking in the mirror and addressing lifestyle, which can be augmented by using all the different forms of alternative care that we have available to us to help maximize people's innate potential to be healthy. So where do you see yourself in this huge just downturn crisis where it's like the thing's on fire, dude? I mean, are you going to be able to sustain the storm?
Well, that's the plan. I mean, who knows? Who knows what's ever going to be thrown at you, so it's impossible to be so definitive, but I believe we will, because, we look at risk mitigation.
Okay, good. That's what I was getting to.
But let's just unwrap a couple of comments that you made there. And,
Okay.
Chiropractors, we love chiropractors. I mean, I've spoken to a lot of chiropractors, and very often I'll say, what's your biggest professional frustration? And very often it's, not seeing a patient through the whole program that I want them and feel they need to go through.
Right.
Because the insurance company will pay for 3 treatments or 4 treatments, and you know that they need 10 or 12. Well, how wrong is that, when you know what a patient needs from your professional experience and expertise, and somebody in an office is saying, I will pay for 3.
Right.
It's not good. So, a chiropractor, I'm not going to say everybody, but a lot of chiropractors that I speak to, they express that as a professional dissatisfier and a frustration.
Well, let me bring in my perspective on that. Obviously, I don't think 3 or even 12 is going to be anywhere near. I look at chiropractic as something that somebody does for a lifetime.
Right.
And I feel it's not your responsibility as an insurance company to pick up the bill for that. I mean, I think people need to get back to, and again, it comes down to economics and the financial capacities for people to do that. But I say it all the time. Insurance doesn't pay for my organic vegetables. It doesn't pay for, my gym membership. And maybe it should. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to let you err on this. But I think, again, it comes back to people taking responsibility for their own health and their own family's health. And then, again, there's a lot of things that are going on in healthcare that I think are obviously creating more disease than it's obviously helping. You look at things like vaccination and chemo and radiation and the way and all the pharmaceuticals people take with all the detrimental side effects. And again, not looking in the mirror, not realizing this is not fixing the problem, this is just covering up the symptoms. Again, it comes back to changing the consciousness in the global public to understand that health is an inside job. It's not something you're going to take a pill for or inject in or cut an organ out. And I see that we're at that tipping point almost. I'm feeling very optimistic about the consciousness, the whole just shift,
Right.
where people, the whole premise of medicine for healthcare is it's a broken system. And again, medicine is great if you have a heart attack or you get shot up with a bunch of bullets or you've got severe burns. That's where they shine, and I'm going to give them all the credit in the world that they deserve for that, because emergency medical care is amazing in this country, the United States. But for healthcare, it sucks. I mean, it's just it's a mess.
But it has to start with that wellness. So, a nice analogy is, we take our cars through the car wash. We'll go and get them tuned up. We'll get the oil changed, either on time or a little later. But we know what happens if you don't change the oil. You go 3 times over the service length, or what happens if you don't wash your car, especially in a bad weather environment. And but most people will take care of their vehicles. They'll vacuum their carpet, they'll clean their kitchen, and yet they will take little to no care of their body, except the usual shower.
Right.
But they won't think about what they're putting in their mouth. And I remember when I was a kid, my mother would say, "Hey, chew your food 32 times." Right. But there's some sense in that. All of those things that my mother used to say that we just, whatever.
Right. And the whole thing with posture too,
Yeah.
Sit up straight.
Sit up straight.
Yeah, stand up straight. Quit slouching,
So there are just little hints and tips that people need to know about, and they probably do know them because they probably heard their parents use those little things that we took no notice of. So, if we imagine that, your health starts with what you put into your mouth, the food you put in your mouth, how long it's in there and what you do with it when it's in your mouth, and then when it goes through your system and you eliminate at the other end, then if people just knew what to do, just changed little habits, the concept of drinking water appropriately, the right type of water, the right room temperature when you drink it. What happens if you drink ice water in abundance when you're eating a meal? Do you realize it disrupts the acidic level? It cools the stomach down. Do you realize that we really weren't made for eating meat? So if it's sitting there in a cold environment, the digestive system is not going to start until it comes up to temperature.
Right.
And the acid's going to start pumping away. It's taking too long. Just little things like that are going to degrade the quality of our life over time.
Sure.
So, I love the internet. It's a source of all knowledge, but it has good and it has bad and it has ugly.
Right.
And we see a lot of people coming to us, and I'm sure you do too. Oh, I read this on Google. So they got their medical doctorate from Google Med School.
Right.
And
what's even worse is the whole MLM thing with people, in these MLMs thinking they're doctors now, and they're all just driven by money. Let's take for instance the CBD MLMs where, they feel they can cure it and heal everything, but they don't know the science behind it, and it's kind of sad. Yeah. And again, I'm not saying that you have to have a doctor to teach these concepts, but at least know the science and why it works,
right?
And not just be put, because I hear it all the time. It drives me nuts, as far as discussions that I've had, whether it's on CBD or chiropractic, people that use the internet for their source. And again, the internet's great, like you said, but it's also ugly. People can go there, and a lot of, especially with chiropractic, we've been vilified, and they've had goals to just really contain and eliminate our profession, because we are competition to that system, and that system's about just keeping people drugged and controlled and slaves to the whole medical model. And when you as a chiropractor, my job is to teach people and give them hope and faith in their own bodies, but also give them freedom to navigate this jungle called life through common sense. And I love research and science and stuff, but first of all, it's got to sit right. Sticking a needle in a baby just right there, right up the front, it just doesn't. Common sense says that that's probably not right, and it goes against every grain in my soul and my being. And again, again, if you could show me any research to validate why we would do that, then I might come to think about it. But I still probably not do it, because I'm just not into needles and those kinds of things. I like to keep things in the groove, the way God created us to live, and live by those rules, and not try to bend Mother Nature's rules and try to make God's creation better than it is. And again, it comes down to having faith in what God gave you and working with that powers that are inside already. So
that's great.
Right.
I love that. So we celebrate what you do,
right?
And we find that the chiropractic community are pretty much one in thinking that way. And so, we like to feel that our plan
You do
members,
feel that. You don't feel any division within our profession?
Well, yes, there is. There's always a bell curve in everything that that happens.
I didn't want to think that you were seeing things through rosy lenses or something.
No. But by and large, we see some great chiropractors. We want chiropractors that care. We want chiropractors that feel that they're healers.
Right.
And that.
But then there's a lot of chiropractic, and I don't mean to get into this right now, but there's a lot of chiropractors that really don't see chiropractic the way I see it. And a lot of they look at it as more a musculoskeletal, pain-based thing, which is great, and we're great at that. But I think it's very limiting to perpetuating not only chiropractic, but also perpetuating real health by removing nerve interference and allow that body to express a higher potential. So I just didn't know how deep down the road you've gone within the different philosophies within chiropractic.
Yeah, absolutely. And I still see people that pretty much just crack your bones, and that's it. Off you go. You get an adjustment. Off you go.
Right.
And we're looking for chiropractors that practice with a broader perspective of healing and health and prevention, and can integrate different treatments and services as well. So you mentioned CBDs. We love CBDs. There's a lot of evidence that CBDs are tremendous, but you just don't want to go on the internet, buy some CBDs and start dropping it.
Right.
It needs to be integrated into a plan. It needs, what are you doing it for?
Right.
Why are you doing it? And it was actually the night before Cal Jam, I tore my Achilles doing some Krav Maga stuff.
Doing what?
Krav Maga is like a mixed martial arts
thing,
and it's pretty. Yeah, and I felt my heel bang against a wall, and when I looked around, there was no wall. It was my Achilles had
Oh,
popped.
wow.
So, and then the following day we're at CalJam, which was great because a lot of the participants saw me walking or hobbling around, so a great place to be when you just torn your
There's not a
Achilles.
lot you can do about that,
There isn't, but there was a lot of advice.
Right.
I was in the right place. So just a couple of weeks ago, I had some stem cell procedure, and they said use CBDs as well, and I have a fabulous muscle stimulator, a TENS unit, Tesla. It's called a Tesla Max, a really tremendously powered product, and I can feel the benefits of it already. My point is, I'm using that device. I'm using CBD cream. I'm taking it orally as well, and I had the stem cells, and I'm massaging it, and I'm doing some physical therapy. So I'm integrating a lot of different protocols.
Right.
I'm not just taking the CBDs. This particular clinic follows Dave Asprey's bulletproof protocols.
Sure.
So do this. So integrating all of those elements,
Right.
those micro components, creates a macro solution
Right.
for me, and I can feel the benefits even just after a week, and just over a week since I had it done. So we love that sort of thing. It's not just go and get this done. I mean, I could have had surgery, but I don't want surgery.
No.
If I have to have surgery because everything else that's
failed.
basically non-invasive
Right.
doesn't work, then I'll consider surgery, or I may consider just hobble for the rest of my life. People don't get out of your way when you're hobbling. That's been an amazing.
Really?
It's been an amazing epiphany for me. How I have a walking cane. Yeah, I'll be walking into a store and people will just walk right in front and they can see that you're hobbling. And sometimes it's been pretty bad. If I twist my foot a little bit and tear it again, it's like back to square one. And
I didn't notice you hobbling today.
Yeah. Just I'm not hobbling as much. I tell you, these stem cells have been great. CBD is great. The muscle stim, great. Changing what I eat, great. It's all making great progress.
Yeah, I don't expect all chiropractors to jump on board with that. I mean, I don't do all that. I do hyperbaric, I do CBD, stuff that's really pretty simple concepts for people to understand. And it's not like I have to reinvent the wheel here in my practice, and it's really it's unattended stuff. So, I mean, I basically teach my people things that they can do through nutrition, like next week's Alzheimer's workshop. And, I mean, I know that stuff's not chiropractic. It's just things that I'm interested in, and that things that I want to teach my people, things that they can employ in their lives. Like you said, you're doing it yourself. It's not like, you get a little bit of direction. It's not rocket science figuring this stuff out. I don't know a lot about stem cells, to be honest with you, and I probably should.
Yeah. We're getting a lot of people coming to us, some of our plan members that have bad knees want they want knee replacement. They have no cartilage.
Right.
Hip replacement requests and things like that, and it's not that we're against it. It's just that we feel that they have a right to know what other alternative methods are available.
Any day rather do stem cells and have a hip replacement.
Well, if you look at the cost of it, and it's not that we're just trying to save money. We're trying
you're trying to
make
eliminate waste again.
Yeah, and so and you talked about dementia and Alzheimer's. There's emerging evidence, and I'm sure there needs to be more trials, clinical trials, but taking stem cells intranasally can provide some benefit for people with early dementia, maybe late dementia. I don't know, but
Yeah, because there's not a lot you can do once you get that far down the road.
Well,
from my research.
Yeah, just keep a checkpoint on what's happening in the stem cell industry here, because stem cells. My understanding is it's difficult for stem cells taken from an injection or an IV to maybe IV can cross the blood-brain barrier, but mine was done locally, so it's only going to heal my ankle, my Achilles. Right. But if you take it intravenously, it can be multi-potent. It can go look and see what needs fixing.
Right.
But I'm not sure whether that can cross a blood-brain barrier. I'm not a medical doctor, but I study this stuff all the time, so nobody should take what I say as gospel here from a medical perspective. But the clinic that I went to in Utah, one of the medical doctors and the founder of it, they both took some intranasally to try some things, and said they were feeling better within after a couple of weeks, and that's going to cross the blood-brain barrier. So maybe there is some partial or maybe hopefully total solution.
Now,
to
is there
fixing
any possible negative repercussions to, sending sending stem cells up into your? I mean, how do you know that you couldn't have any negative?
I don't know.
I can see it for joints. I don't know if I'd be snorting stem cells.
That's a great way of putting snort.
Well,
I'm
I just say it like it is, man. You can call it international, but basically
it is. It's snorting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just just expressing what I've been told
Right,
from a couple of people.
right,
so
right.
there's something being tried here. There's something
Right.
in the hopper that's
Right.
we'll see what comes out of it. But dementia. You look at the
It's
increase
horrible,
in
dude.
that,
It's horrible.
And what can you do about it? Apparently CBDs can assist with that as well.
I mean, to me, and again, I'm looking at CBD. It's not like a drug, because people, whoa, dude, you're promoting. It's not a drug, dude. It's a food. It's a super food. It's probably one of the
circle, and we're standing next to them to provide the coverage for them.
right.
So if you're Billy Bobcat's family healer, and you want to bring in somebody that provides stem cell services, you talk to us.
Right.
And if you don't know somebody, we'll find somebody, and we engage the two of you. You become BFFs, and then the primary concern is the total healing of your patient, our plan member, and we all talk together. So there's no longer any of this micro component stuff. You refer somebody out, and you never see them again because you never talk to the person that you've sent them to. No, we want those micro components to come together to create a macro solution.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at that from a plan member perspective, that's really cool. That's
Right.
really cool. Now look at it on a global perspective, and say if we all start talking to each other, all of us who are micro components in this weird world of naturopathic, and we come together as a macro solution, we create a movement. And you create a movement, Billy, and it can't be stopped. And that's
Right,
when it
right.
gets in people's heads. And we become, as a group, the default go-to for our healing. Instead of just going right down to the doctor and say, okay, give me some chemo.
Right. Right.
My next door neighbor told me I should take chemo, not this great stuff that some of the greatest medical brains on the planet, healing brains on the planet, have shown time and time again that this works. No, I'm taking chemo. Because what happens is they take the chemo and, pray to God that it works for them, but if it doesn't, then they've got radiation. They may have some surgery. They're now screwed up in their head because they're thinking, I'll never see my granddaughter play her first flute recital. I'm not going to do this. So psychologically they get screwed up. And then as a very last resort, who do they go to?
Us! So frustrating!
So you've got to clean up their head. You've got to clean up the chemicals that are swimming around. You've got to stop them from glowing in the dark. And you can put your pen down. You don't need to be doing your last will and testament right now. I want you spending your time with me because there are other things we could do. So you're up you're rolling a snowball up a hill in 115-degree heat. When these people come in with chemicals swimming through, glowing in the dark, psychologically they're gone. And you've got to heal them. What if we can get to a point where we get those people into you first?
Right.
And the only way we can do that is through everybody coming together and creating that movement. We want to do that. We're not the answer to everything.
No.
We have our battles that we're fighting in the war of healthcare, but we need other foot soldiers. We need other Air Force and Navy and Coast. We need other people coming in like yourself and us coming to you. I mean, what you do on a stage at CalJam, makes me sit up straight. Yeah, that's great. That's what we need to be doing.
Right.
I'll tell you what was interesting, and I hope this is not offensive to anybody, but I sat in one of the talks at CalJam, and the speaker was getting people, highlighting what's going wrong, what needs to be done, and said, "So who's with me?" And before that, getting rapturous round of applause, said, "Who's with me? You've got to be all in." I remember all in, and it's like, wow.
That's the response. It was a little apprehensive.
Yeah, it's like, wow. guys, if you listen, everybody has to be all in here.
You can't be having like putting your toe in the water.
Don't rely on the other people. Create a movement.
Right.
Create a movement. Those people that are going up front and center, and put in, and
sticking our necks out.
Put being a target. I mean, we've got targets on our chest because we're trying to do something good, and as we choose to do something
we're trying
that's
to go
good,
against the machine too.
We are going against the machine.
And you have to understand that's what I was going to ask you that question next. I mean, we're going against just the whole programming and the whole agenda about really lowering just the human spirit. Is what it is. I mean, you may call this conspiracy, but I mean, everywhere you look, you can see the reality there. So when you come up with a program like this that's promoting alternatives, you have to feel some resistance from the machine, or have you? Or
not yet. But we're not
naive.
We're not right in the middle of the radar screen, but we feel that we will. But you see, it still comes back to saying, look, we still recognize, respect, and celebrate scientific advances in medicine. We're not saying you're all evil and you're all crooks. We're just saying, look, we need to. There are a lot of people out there that want to have more choice,
right?
And we are going to educate them on what those choices are, so that they can choose, and we will cover it. Now, we don't do cucumber and kumbaya for a broken leg, like you said. Broke your ribs. Get it fixed, and if you need some heavyweight stuff, don't be a martyr. Get the pain out of the way, and then start your recovery. But get off the stuff. It's not a long-term thing. We don't feel that, generally speaking, that pharmaceutical medication should or need be a permanent fixture in someone's life, because there's evidence of what damage it does. But sometimes you just have to pop the pill.
You're in the building's on fire, you got to put the fire out.
Put the fire out and then figure out what caused it, stop it from happening again. And it's usually, have you noticed that, whenever you see pictures of burnt down buildings, the fireplace is always intact. So go to the fireplace and see what caused the fire. It's not the the wall that burned down. Where did it start? And fix that.
Right.
So it's just about educating people. So back to your point about how do we get to people. One of the things that we had a booth at CalJam. We had a lot of traffic. It was great. We were in a great position. We loved it. Met a lot of fabulous people and followed through, with everybody that we could. And we had one of those, text owner to this number, and hardly anybody did that. It was more of a traditional booth type thing. But what I saw when I was sitting in the
text owner,
it was just one of those text, like all the speakers have.
Yeah, I do that too. I'm not sure I understand 100%.
Well, it's for us, it's you type in owner in your phone and you text and
email
put a number in it, and then it connects, and you send something back, says, please give us your email address so we can send you some better information. And it's just like a drip feed of information.
Sure.
It can be abused. Some companies can abuse it because then they're in their face all the time. We don't look at it that way. We just say, look,
subscribe, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, the thing is, you're at we've all been to conferences, and we go from booth to booth, and we remember 100% of everything until we leave the booth.
Right.
And then we remember 100% of the next one and nothing of this one. So it's just a matter of keeping in touch. But what I found at CalJam was the speakers that were on stage, when they did look, I'll give you some more information, or a free gift, or a free report or something, if you type blah, blah, blah to this number. I'm looking around. I watch people. I love watching people.
I do too.
And I'm watching, and everybody's phones, and I'm doing it, and then bang, there's something from Josh Axe, cool, that's great. Something from Brad Glocke, great, and then now I'm in their system, and then I can go back at my leisure, and I'm remembering people, and I'm getting great information. So how can we do it? I don't know. I would love to speak at CalJam. I tell you,
cool.
I would love to go on a stage, because I will rally people to become one and give them an understanding of why we're doing this.
I just wish you were female.
Well, I live in Las Vegas. You don't know what I do on a night time.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Nick's not here right now. He'd probably be getting the foot right now.
So it's just a matter of communicating the message in as many ways as we can, because we have a list of chiropractors, but we send it out. Some people get offended that we're kind of hitting on them. It's not that.
What do you mean?
Well, we have we'll have a list of chiropractors, a contact list, and we send it out. A lot of it goes to their spam and whatever. We just want to draw attention to chiropractors. Look, we're supporting you.
Of course,
we believe in you.
Right.
We just want to know what do you require us to do for that belief and trust to be reciprocal, because we're here.
Right.
We're here. We've gone through hell to get to here. It's we've all the team that we have sacrificed a great deal. Nobody on my team is unemployable, Billy. We've got brilliant people, but everybody that's on the team has a story to tell about healthcare and how it's affected them, and they're on a mission. They could go and do something really cool and safe, and collect the money.
Right. But it's more mission driven.
It's incredibly mission driven because it has to be included and added to the current system. I'm not going to say that we're trying to destroy the current system.
No.
We're not a violent. I mean, we're administered by Native American tribal communities, the United Cherokee Nation, Aniawea, and the word Aniawea means principled people. And we try to make sure that we are principled in what we do within Ona Healthcare. And
how did you come up with the name Ona?
Ona means new beginnings.
Oh, I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
In what?
Some tribal language, I don't know. When I first put it together, it was just something that came to me.
That's why the feather's there, or what?
The feather's there, yeah. There we go. There's a little apostrophe.
Oh,
so it's Ona Healthcare, and I wanted a different colour, so I chose orange instead of instead of the usual blues and greens and what have you.
Right.
And so we're trying to change all the terminology. We don't say you have a monthly premium. You have a monthly contribution.
Right. Or investment, even, really. Wouldn't you look at it as an investment? I mean, because...
Oh, I think so. I think it really is an investment, and the most important thing to invest in is your health, because
tell me one thing is more important than investing in your health.
I don't
People
know.
say, "Oh, my kids." Well, your kids need you there, dude. It's not like people want to be play moms in the practice always play the martyr. It's like, well, your kids need you. I mean, my mom's still around, and I'm very grateful for that. She's 82, and you got to put your seatbelt on first when the plane's going down, right? Or no, your mask on first.
It's their philosophical principles of primacy, and I we're on my little soapbox here. I've got
That's
a room.
okay. I'm on soapboxes all the time.
I've got a room full of these things. I'm needing some extra space for them now. But I look at philosophical principles of primacy and say two things can be equally important, but something has to come slightly first. And the best example is the one you just said. Self or others.
Right.
Both equally important.
Of course.
And
maybe
child.
the others are more important. I get it. I mean, you would probably give up your life for your kids. I mean, there's a question about it. But you've got to be there to protect them.
Yeah.
And if you're not there, then there's nobody protecting them. So
no, exactly. The airplane example is one that I always use. They always say, in the event of an emergency, it's going to come down, put it on yourself so that you can help somebody else.
Right.
So if you're in the best shape possible, mind, body, spirit, you're eating the right stuff, you're breathing the right air, you're
getting adjusted,
grounding, you're getting adjusted
right.
on a regular basis. That's taking care of you so that you can be in the best holistic life position to help other people, whether that's from a charitable perspective, whether it's just because if you're feeling grumpy because you just had a bad meal and it's taking you down, sometimes a smile to somebody that's feeling down is the best thing in the world. So just
and maybe you would get out of the way of somebody that's hobbling along with their cane and have a little empathy for other people. You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about, yeah. But it's just be nice, and
right.
You're in a much better position to be nice to somebody and to be kind and to be grateful and to collaborate with somebody if you're in a good place yourself.
Right.
So there's nothing wrong with self before others. It's not self at the expense of others. That's where a lot of people get it wrong, I think.
Right.
So that's that. We look at our own philosophical principles, and I ask people, and I don't judge what people say. I have an opinion on everything, but I don't judge anybody. But that opinion is based on where I am in my life and the knowledge that I have and the experiences that I've had. It doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it wrong. But it's not a judgment. It's not a judgment of somebody. But you look at philosophical principles, and I ask a lot of people. So let's take the the insurance companies that are out there, if we take two elements of primacy that are both equally important, one is money. You have to have money. You don't have this beautiful facility unless you have money, revenues coming in from in exchange for the services that you offer. So money is important. And then health. So a traditional conventional insurance company has money and health. And so, which do you think comes first in their mind? And pretty much almost everybody says it, money.
You're kidding.
Money. Money comes before health. You surprised at that? So what if you flip that paradigm? What if you flip that primacy and say, and let's change the word a little bit from health to healing. If healing comes first, will money come? Will money follow? And we find that it does. So if we put primacy into healing, then people are coming onto our plan and they make their monthly contributions. We provide education for them, place them with people that we feel are great healers, educate them, and they're healthier. That keeps our claims down,
right,
which means that we can keep our costs, our monthly contribution costs down to between 30% and 65% less than some of the big boys and girls out there. That's just by changing the paradigm. One simple change. One of the things that I've always done, Billy, is I've worked in different industries around the world, and I try to look to see, is the problem that people are trying to solve the real problem that needs to be solved? Mm-hmm. And very often it's not. So you get Band-Aid after Band-Aid after Band-Aid. Mm-hmm. But all you've got to do is just maybe take a couple of steps round the problem and look at it from a different angle and see, is that the real problem? Because nobody's solving that one. So part of the problem that we've solved is fundamental. Make a paradigm shift, a swap of money first, put that second, and put healing first.
Sure.
Both equally important, like shoes and socks, or self before self before others.
I'm grounding.
You're grounding, yeah. But you know what I mean? Does that resonate?
Right.
So if you make simple changes to solve the real problem, now you've got something.
Right.
And that's what we want to.
Like you said, simple changes too. It's not that hard, in my opinion, but maybe the application might be difficult from a discipline standpoint.
Yeah.
But eating healthy is not rocket science. We all know what we're supposed to eat. It's just, would you rather eat the cinnamon roll or would you rather eat the broccoli? Most people are going to go with the cinnamon roll route.
Yeah.
And that's why we're in the situation we're in for a lot of people.
But it's a really interesting phenomenon of working with people's behaviors. And we're not trying to be all things to all people. I think the great thing about the healthcare system right now and the health insurance and healthcare coverage industry is that there is something for everybody. So if somebody is really sick and they want to have chemotherapy, there's an insurance company out there that will cover them.
Right. Well, with your plan, do you guys cover chemo?
We cover it. Yeah, we cover chemotherapy.
So that was my other question. I mean, are you guys solvent enough to withstand just this catastrophic?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have.
Okay. That was my big concern when I signed on.
Yeah.
I go, I mean, are these guys real? Or they have the solvency to withstand the storm? Because the storm's coming, man. I mean, whether people want to admit it or not.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be part of the storm, and I've done all the things from a preventive standpoint to prevent it from happening.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we attract people that have that same thought process as you. So the risk of us being taken down by thousands of people suddenly coming to us one day and saying, "I've got Alzheimer's, I've got this, I've got that," it's minimized by the fact that you
attract your crowd.
We attract our crowd. We know what our demographic is, and again, it's a bell curve. But we love millennials. That are healthy and health-minded, and there are people out there that are very health-conscious now. That want to know more about living a longer life, healthier.
Right.
We have people. I mean, I'm 59. We have people on the planet my age as well.
I'm even older than you.
Are you?
Just turned 60, bro.
Are you? Oh man, that's.
So.
Yeah, I'm 60 in February.
You're catching up.
I will catch you up. I'll catch you up.
You'll be same age as me for a few months.
Will I?
Yeah.
That's cool.
All right. Anything else you want to say in closing? I mean, I'd love to get you more involved at CalJam.
I would love to.
You know, I don't know if we can get you in speaking this year, but I would definitely love to get you up there with your vision and where you're taking it all.
Yeah, just like more visibility, Bill.
Right.
So that
Yeah. I
people
mean,
know
also
that we're here.
we could also think about maybe doing a lunch thing where people come and see you speak at something like that too. There's a lot of options that are available.
Yeah, let's explore it. But we believe in you, Billy.
And I believe in you
what
too.
you're doing.
I mean, I wouldn't be sitting here with you doing this video with you if I didn't believe in you. And I'm really trying to promote you to the chiropractic profession because we are the movers and shakers within the chiropractic profession, in my opinion. So
right. Well, we just want people to talk to us, see what we're about. You know, there's so much more. I thoroughly enjoyed this conversation, and
and again,
got a couple of soapboxes out, and release a little bit of stress and tension. But we respect and recognize all forms of treatments and services. We just want to put them in the right order, and we want our people, our plan members, to come to us knowing that we want to make them well, we want to promote wellness, we want them to have chiropractic care, acupuncture. I mean, I love doing Reiki healing. I'm a Reiki healer, and that I'm at the point of being obsessed with that stuff, and pendulum healing, and I've seen some great results with a pendulum.
Yeah, you're open.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's emotion code. The emotion code is clearing people's heart walls and things like that. On a personal level, I've worked with people at a distance and next to them and seen some great results with that. So we're open to many different kinds of healing treatments and services modalities, but we never shut out the possibility that just maybe somebody might need some radiation therapy.
Sure.
We don't dismiss it. We just want to put it in the right order and educate people on what's available. So and
what percentage of your clientele are chiropractors? I mean, do you have a big chiropractic following?
No, we have quite a few. Yeah, I mean, people seem to like naturopaths a lot. With a naturopath, it can be like an MD. They can have a restricted.
I'm just curious of what the demographics of your.
Yeah. Okay. So our plan members, we encourage them to go to chiropractors. I don't know what the percentage is, but
no. But I mean, do you have say 1% of your clientele are alternative practitioners, and
I see what you're saying.
Do you have more?
I would say right now about 40 to 50%. A lot of people that are on our plan still have conventional MDs. Very often they may be DOs that are functional, and they will engage other practitioners.
No, but I'm saying people that subscribe or that are
on the plan.
Yeah, on the plan.
Oh yeah. Probably not a lot. Maybe 10-15%.
Well, that's a lot.
10-15%. Is it?
I think so.
I want more.
Well, good. Let's do it.
But we want chiropractors to talk to us about their patients. Because sometimes they run out of money before the treatments and services are, and we allocate. We allow an amount of their deductible, or as we call it, maximum out of pocket towards wellness. So conventional insurance companies won't allow in their deductibles a lot of the treatments and services, especially for wellness, that we encourage people to participate in. Right. So that makes us unique as well. We're all about wellness, prevention. An ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure.
I think B.J. Palmer said that.
Did he?
Yeah. A lot of people have said
I hear his name so often. I'm so thrilled to be able to see pictures of him on your wall.
Yeah. Some people think that's a zigzag man, but that's really D.D. Palmer.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you know who the zigzag man is?
No, I don't.
Okay, good. That's probably good. Right.
Is it?
No, he's just who's on the cover on some cigarette papers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, who knows who he is. All right, Billy D. with Alan Boyer from Ona Healthcare. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Very
you. It's
interesting
a pleasure.
Conversation.
Thank you.
We could have talked for hours, but I'm not sure people would have withstood much more than we've got going on there. We try to keep them a little bit short.
Another time.
We can do part 2. Mm-hmm. All right, because you're just a hop, skip, and a jump from here.
I'm just a hop, skip, and a jump.
Yeah.
Well, a hop anyway, but until this is fixed.
That's true. All right, signing off, Billy D with Alan Boyer. Thanks again to Vox Life for being the big sponsor at CalJam and supporting our whole mission, and also supporting all our podcasts. Over and out, Billy D and Alan Boyer.
What's your number one reason for coming? just the energy, the love, and getting to see so many different speakers talking about everything that I care about.
To get the newest and latest great information on what I can't hear in normal mainstream media publications, that I can hear new information on alternative medicine that, I think in a lot of cases can be as curative, if not more curative, than traditional medicine.
It's something we had to try, and did not disappoint.
It was a combination of the opportunity for continuing education credits, getting out of the Northwest where it's really cold, somewhere nice and sunny, and also I have heard good things about kind of CalJam as being something that will increase your passion for chiropractic.